tenemos amplia evidencia de que el uso exitoso de la tecnología contribuye a que las instituciones de trabajo sean más eficientes, más efectivas y, en última instancia, más estratégicas.
Unfortunately, the COVID-19 crisis exposed the global disparities in access by these institutions. So, to modern and proven technology for a better service delivery. Overcoming these challenges require a focus and an accelerated strategy to facilitate technology, upskilling by labor administration and inspection institutions.
We live in a time when many of these technologies are readily available with tremendous potential for delivering on the ILO decent work agenda. Such technologies include, for example, case management systems, automated services for workers and employers, big data integration with other line ministries, or the use of artificial intelligence for more targeted policy interventions.
El avanzar en eso es nuestra tarea ahora. Y el contribuir con este espacio de reflexión nos va a permitir hacer una reflexión y ojalá definir algún curso de acción en los cuales la oficina está dispuesta y está con toda la intención de contribuir, de acompañarles y de favorecer no solamente este intercambio entre los países, sino que también el desarrollo mismo y la adaptación o la construcción de herramientas de acuerdo a las realidades particulares.
When it comes to technological innovation, what are the major challenges for public labor administration and inspection institutions?
De nada serviría el presupuesto para desarrollo de un software si no tenemos claros los procesos y las estrategias.
I think the greatest challenge is not creating the tool itself, because there are a lot of providers that can create such tools. It is important what type of data you want to collect, because all that data, like we saw from Brazil, can be used for better risk assessment. And that is the key objectives, to focus resources on the companies that might show a red flag and not just go completely in all directions.
Creo yo que está referido principalmente al tema del uso de la información, a la confidencialidad de la información, desde el punto de vista ya sea del empleador que está cargando esta información, como desde el punto de vista de nuestros funcionarios y funcionarias que harán uso de esa información y las posibles o eventuales filtraciones que pudiesen, menoscabar los datos personales de estos trabajadores a los cuales pertenece esa información.
That's great. An important axiom of innovation is always having the space to fail, which is a very difficult thing when you're talking about public funds, right? And oftentimes it needs to be procured. So you need to know for sure that something's going to work in order to be able to convince your decision makers to go through a procurement process, to build it and test it out in your government. So that is I think a constant conflict that we have in public entities in terms of innovating. The second question we have are, what benefits have you seen from that technological upskilling or that innovation within your own institution?
In 2020, although affected by the pandemic, the case of wage delinquency in construction sector in Zhejiang province still declined by 8.4%.
De que nosotros a lo largo del año ya por este aplicativo llevamos formalizando más de 200,000 trabajadores formalizados solamente por este aplicativo.
In an early pilot, HSE found that we had a fourfold increase in visiting premises that needed to be visited. When the inspector went there, they found an issue or a problem, and combined with visiting premises that were actually in operation. Positive feedback from administrative staff. Arranging an inspector schedule previously took hours or days. Now it took 15 minutes to arrange a schedule for an inspector. And the inspectors themselves found that 80 to 90% of their visits were now finding breaches of procedure, of legislation, which meant that their time was being used much more effectively. They were going to where they needed to go.
We enable these supply chains to become traceable, transparent, but most importantly, equitable, which is kind of the heart of this conversation I've been listening in this morning.
What is our main goal here? is to provide a space for organizers and workers to organize.
So our goal is to give all construction workers a safe and easy way to have a voice through our platform, Worker Feedback Club. Companies need workers more than ever as skills shortages have worsened following Brexit and the pandemic. Worker Feedback Club helps these companies collect worker sentiment data and create solutions that improve visibility, quality, and productivity through happier workers. So it's a win-win.
So the strength of Worker Connect is engagement. It's this engagement that I'm talking about. Workers are submitting anonymous information and worker advocates are responding, acknowledging, and using this information to drive investigations.
What advice would you give to other institutions looking to harness the power of that technology?
Believe in your staff, and you have to invest in the people. This is the most important thing. The people must know that they have space and have resources, and I'm not telling just about financial resources, but resources to build something that they believe, they think is going to make our work feel better, our work be better, not just for us, but for the society as well.
The challenge with public institutions, I think, is pacing. And the inability of, or what they need to do is to set up the ability to test and prototype quickly. Almost in spite of the bureaucracy that they have. And that, I think, would allow the answer to the previous questions, which is what can these tools offer? And what are the types of partnerships that could be possible?
And if we could build and capitalize on lessons learned from past interventions, we have a platform to strengthen labor administration in spite of the COVID epidemic.
Ultimately, whatever stage you're at, you need a vision of where you're headed and how you can leverage technology to deliver on your underlying priorities and to improve your own effectiveness. Again, going back to the opening remarks, it's not the technology that will magically change those things. There needs to be a holistic view of how technology supports and is integrated into your policies and objectives so that those policies and objectives can be sustained, can be delivered more impactfully using information technology.